Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Lee. I'm back again with part 2 of my Penguin Brewing session. My teammate Thomas Slafford will be joining us here very soon, and we will go over some of our Penguin decisions on the decks that we have made. Thomas has already made a deck himself before, and so he's going to bring it in, and we're going to compare notes and talk about the meta and talk about the game and see what we can't show you guys with the Penguins. I had a ton of fun. This is very reminiscent for me of back when I could play Gemio Kite. I was able to stall out until I could finally find the right times to poke in and hit those towers little bit by little bit until I got to my victory. And it was very satisfactory to be able to taunt and tease my teammate Dylan earlier today on stream. I had him down to one tower, and he had one of my towers destroyed, and I just kept poking at him. And I had at one point I had one card in hand, and then the next moment I have 6 cards in hand, and he's just like exasperated because he has like 6 cards in hand the entire time and can't get through. It was a good time. The Penguins are doing what the Penguins do. I feel like my version of the Penguin deck is a little bit on the lighter side of Penguins. But we'll get into that very quickly here. When Thomas jumps in, I will go through my deck. I am playing a 46-card deck. And let's see. We can make trims as we go, of course. So I just want to see what you guys think. Thomas and I will probably play a couple games together and talk about stuff. In the meanwhile, while I am waiting for Thomas, I can answer some questions that you guys might have about the deck or the cards or the meta. So we have our Penguin champion here, Penguardian legend Hanzo. He is quite the guy. Whenever a unit your opponent controls becomes stunned, you may put the top card of your deck under this card. If it was a Penguin unit, you may draw a card. So every time that you put a Penguin under him from the top of your deck, you get to draw a card in addition to doing that. And then if you can, once per turn, you can put 2 cards from under this card on top of your deck in any order, and you can ignore the effect of target non-destroyed tower this turn. Now I want to tell you that you can do this once per turn. This means you could do this on your turn, you could do this on your opponent's turn, and you can do it in order to put the cards that you have tucked under Hanzo on top of your deck in any order. So that way, if you have like something that you might draw a card, you might be able to have specific answers under Hanzo. Put the answers on top of your deck, draw the answer, and then use it in order to protect yourself or to do what you need to do. We have Tux, the Emperor Spirit. He's quite the guy himself. Whenever a unit you control destroys a tower, you may draw a card and then discard a card. So every time you crack a tower, you get to draw a card, discard a card, filter your hand, and get to the better solutions easier and faster. And then you can Soul Burst, pay 3, stun all units your opponents control. A stunned card cannot attack, block, or use activated abilities until the end of the next turn. So if you stun on your turn, the end of your opponent's turn, the stun goes away. If you stun on your opponent's turn, the end of your next turn goes away. Hello, Barry. Thanks for jumping in. Hey, Dragorian Chant. Yes, Dragorian, I did. I was playing with Dylan and I got him all frustrated. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, he had to leave, so he'll be back later on. I am waiting for another teammate right now, Thomas, to jump on the stream with me. He'll be on anytime. He just got home recently and he's settling in and getting set up. So I figured I'd pop on early and talk to everybody here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lee. I am a small-time gamer. I come from Maine. I live in New York, and so the scene around here is pretty small for gaming. I Gaming has always been a big part of my life. It's made connections and showed me how to process information in an organized manner so that I could use that information in a logical and processed manner. It's helped me out a lot in life, and I like to share gaming experiences with my friends, have fun. It's a great way to connect with people and start creating friends and engagement. So for me, this kind of stuff is just all about the fun, just about interacting with all of you and showing you guys something that you want to see. So I have these 5 towers chosen already. So these 3 are 3 of the basic first towers. So Tower of Darkness, when this card is destroyed, you can look at your opponent's hand and take a card from it. They discard that card. Tower of Light, you get a 2000 power Guardian unit. It's a knight. Tower of Water, when this card is destroyed, you can draw 2 cards. Now, the 2 cards that I've decided to not use the basics of is the Tower of Fire and the Tower of Air. I decided to go with the Tower of Embers and the Tower of Gusts. And that's because with the Tower of Gusts, it's got 1500 power instead of just 1000 power. And you can, when this tower is destroyed, you may recover all of your shards. And if you're playing a flashy type instacast deck where you want to be able to play things on your opponent's turn, you can use this tower in order to recover all of your shards and then still have like basically like a second free turn to cast all your instant speed spells. Tower of Embers, I'm concerned about a lot of the aggro out there. I want to be able to break down that aggro. So this tower gives me an extra 500 defense, and it can take down 2 units instead of 1. It's not as surefire as the Tower of Fire, but you can still probably hit 1 big unit, or you can hit 2 small units. It varies how you want to do it. Tower of Fire is a great option. Tower of Embers is a great option. That's just a personal preference if you want to use it. My shard deck. I'll flip that over and lay it out. So, of course, we have the cryptic crystals. The cryptic crystals, if your spirit is not water, this card comes into play exhausted, and you could use it to produce one like usual, and arrive like the top two cards of your deck and put them back in any order. That's particularly useful and important for Hanzo because you can set up so that a penguin is on the top of your deck when you stun a unit this turn. I have 5 basic shards. I have the Corona shard. And I have 1 copy of the Zephyr Crystal. The Zephyr Crystal, if your spirit is not air, comes into play exhausted. So this will always come into play exhausted because I'm playing a water spirit. But that's okay. This card is about utility and being able to take care of problematic augments in the format when I need to. And the Corona Spirit Ruby is for being able to destroy very specifically big units that you're having trouble with. It's hard to use the Corona Spirit instead of Soul Bursting, but Soul Bursting might cost you 3, whereas the Corona Shard, you might just need that last ditch effort to try to protect yourself if your opponent does something shenanigan-y. My deck. I can lay out my deck over here on this table. I have cleared out the table to be able to do just that. So here I have my deck. I have a 46 card deck just because we wanted to jam a game and it was hard to choose what we wanted to cut when. I have a lot of fantastic cards in here. And blue has a lot of really nice options to be able to play. So making cuts and making decisions can be difficult and tricky at times. I'm going to start by pulling out a few things here. I like to talk about things that aren't part of the Penguin package to start off with. I make it all nice and neat and organized to satisfy my OCD. Almost there. Don't make fun of me. It's just how I OCD. Bone Scavenger. Not Scavenger, Scavenger. I don't know why they made it that way. Scavenger instead of Scavenge. Let's see what other one drops are in here. Oh yeah, the Penguin Pupil. Penguardian Pupil. I'll pull these out and start making my second row. To show you guys the distribution. Got the Mr. Kins over here. So Mr. Kins has been quite the interesting character. He's another great way to be able to fix the top card of your deck so that you can make sure that Penguin's on top of your deck whenever you want to use Hanzo's ability. And he's just a great way to filter the top of your deck constantly anyways. In addition to that, he is a excellent scout to scout your opponent's towers with. At 500 power, he's not going to pop anything on his own. But that's okay. You just want to get the information. This way you can use Hanzo's second ability to nullify a tower to its greatest effect. But in addition to that, if you have a Kumakori's totem on the board, water units, you get Get water units get plus 500 for each stunned unit your opponents control. Water units get plus 500. Actually, I might need a judge to take a look at this and make a determination. I am now concerned that this might be all water units, which means that if your opponent's playing water as well, that their units would also get the boost. That is an interesting question. I will have to make a probe for that right now.
Hey, Lee.
Hey, Thomas, how's it going?
Good, good.
Hey, question for you. Might you know the Kumakori's temple? Are you in the pop in the go to Tavern Brawlers on the and then the Password Tavern to get into the TTS?
Give me a second. I gotta log in.
Okay, and just so you know, we are live.
Sweet.
The Kumakori's totem says water units get plus 500 for each stunned unit your opponent controls. So I'm concerned that that means that your opponent's water units also get that bump.
Let me take a look.
Because if that's the case, then that card is not as good as I want it to be. And if that's the case, then I found my next cut. Do. Kins. Penguardian Pupil. Move this guy over just a little bit. Make room for his buddy. Boop. Should be one more pupil in here. There he is. Ba-doop-a-doo. If you guys haven't tried out Tabletop Simulator yet for playing card games, I'd say give it a shot. It's actually pretty intuitive and easy to use.
Yeah, and even if you don't play like card games, like you can play a whole bunch of random stuff.
Yeah,
Like if you do D&D, it's really really easy to play D&D on it. As long as your DM knows what they're doing.
yeah, absolutely. There's infinite games on Tabletop Simulator. When you buy Tabletop Simulator, you don't buy it just for the one game. You buy it for the access to all the games it has on it. I am very so elegantly laying out the cards on the table from my deck right now. Where is the Shuriken? Got 1, 2, 3. This card, the Shuriken, is incredible. It's a 2-cost instacast stun target unit. Just straightforward, direct. It does exactly what you want this deck to do. It fits the theme, and it's an excellent reactive responsive spell that can get you cards off the top of your deck with Hanzo's ability to be able to draw a card if you tuck a penguin. And we do have a lot of penguins in the deck, so, and by a lot I mean maybe a quarter of the deck might be penguins. But some of this stuff is not a penguin, like the Snowtop Elemental. Arrive, stun target unit. That's not a penguin, but obviously it's a really really good card. It's a really good tempo card, and that's what this deck does. It wants to tempo all day until you find the right opportunity to get in, poke your opponent's towers, get back out again. I have a really deep 2-drop curve. which isn't necessarily horrible or anything. Eccentric Visitor. Such a great card. So your spirit Tux. When you soul burst it, you stun all of your opponent's units. And then you draw a card. Or you can tuck a card underneath Hanzo for each time you do that. So for each unit that you stun, you put a card from the top of your deck under Hanzo. And every time you put a penguin under there that way, then you draw an extra card as well. So you're always drawing extra cards, you're always doing extra things. And then you can put cards out from underneath this back on top of your deck in order to put answers on your deck when you need them, or to be able to nullify your opponent's towers. And the Eccentric Visitor will come into play if you have 2 destroyed towers. Or is it 3 destroyed towers, 2 left? Let me take a quick peek here. Spend a day. Arrive. If you have 2 or more destroyed towers, you may flip your spirit face up. When you soul burst your spirit, you flip it face down. If you have 2 destroyed towers and you play Eccentric Visitor, you can flip your spirit face up again, and then you can use his soul burst and other abilities again. Lloyd, just such a really great way to be able to reutilize spells you've already used in addition to Mayu. Chronostasis and Shards of Winter side by side with Tux's Stun and all of these defensive spells really puts your opponent in a tough way to be able to get through. I was playing a copy of Juggernaut, but I had taken it out before we started that game, just because defensive units are really hard right now, and there's a lot of new spells that don't let you respond to in the queue when your opponent plays those spells, and so you can't protect your Juggernaut with its Shard Drain ability the way that you would normally be able to do so. That being the case, he's not as good, and Guardian units have just been very difficult to utilize correctly right now because of all of the overrun abilities and all of the other abilities that just interrupt what you can do with that Shard Drain to protect him. There. And right now, this is my card here, my deck, as it is laid out. Maybe minus that 1 totem, if that does not work the way I am expecting it to work.
Hey, League, what's that password again?
Tavern. They need to capitalize the T. You were in electrical today, huh, Thomas?
I am electrical. I wasn't electrical at least today.
Let me get you promoted here. But bloop, you have been promoted.
Thank you. How much is the pay raise?
The pay raise is you have to do more work for the same pay.
Kind of promotions.
You have one of those jobs where you're so good at your job that you have to do everybody else's too.
So looking at Totem, the way it is read, of water units get plus 500 for each stun unit your opponent controls. I would assume they would also gain the plus 5.
That's exactly what I have come to realize and conclude myself. And that being the case, he's not as good as what he could be. He might be good in the sideboard if you can justify the sideboard space for him. So I'm going to go ahead and actually take the totem out of the deck right now. My idea behind having the totem in the deck was to make my small one drops big enough to be able to crack towers effectively on their own, including Mr. Kins. Because Mr. Kins, although he's not a penguin, he's a beast, which is phenomenal for crossovers with other deck archetypes. But he's a 500 count, 500 power with the totem. I could have made him a 1,000 power or a 1,500 power unit in order to crack towers on my opponent's side. What do you think about the deck, Thomas?
So I'm curious on why the Shardward Dragons and no hearts.
So first of all, the hearts themselves are for when you play big animated decks. These are only just 2 cards. If the heart would not be easy to use, you wouldn't be able to fetch it up, and it would be useless on anything other than those 2 guys. So no hearts, because they're not playing any other animated units. Now, the reason why these guys is because quickness. And that's it. They're just a faster, cheaper Silver Watchwoman. And they have come in, the game that I played against Dylan, they came in pretty solid. So I am one to typically play Silver Watchwoman in a deck that's a controlling matchup like this.
Yeah, I definitely like the Watchwoman.
Yep, absolutely. But because they're so costly now, um, these give me an ability to be able to do it at a cheaper cost because I can animate it for 1, or I could even get the unit onto the board as early as turn 2, so it gives me more variety of options to be able to play with it that way.
Have you thought about playing the Ice Breath First Form Card Strike?
Yep, that's the one that destroys a stun unit, right?
Yeah, it stuns a unit, or if it was stunned, it does destroy.
Right. Yeah, I considered it, and I didn't like it because in this deck, it feels like the number of ways to be able to stun aren't as consistent as I want them to be.
Yeah.
It is definitely a good card and a very, very useful card, but I feel like if I'm going to be sitting on additional control plans besides just stunning, that it's not going to be efficient enough on its own.
And it's funny because in my version, I'm actually not playing the people. I'm actually playing the Conrans over the pupils.
The Conrans are the defensive. No, they are the which ones?
It's the one drop. It's the 1-drop 500 unit that has gains instacast if your opponent controls a stun unit, and then when it comes into play, it stuns a 1 or less.
Yep. Yeah. So Dylan and I were looking at that, and we were both in agreement to not play that. We didn't like the fact that it didn't already come with Instacast, and felt that it should. And the fact that there's just other things that come in and just stun things on their own as well. Anyways, like we just left it in favor of being able to flash a unit in, which is really good to be able to get around other decks that might have removal or have like board wipes, and just be able to leave up more things. Plus, what if your opponent's not playing a stunned unit or playing a unit at the time that you can't stun it in order to get an effect from that other guy from the Conrad? So there's just a lot of ways for that card to become dead. Whereas the pupil, you can still utilize it in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I'm just looking over your deck list.
Yep, I'm happy to answer questions. So like I was telling you earlier, Dylan and I were going through literally every single card in blue and argent and discussing potential issues that we might face with the deck. And then, like, for 2 hours into doing all of this discussion and all that hard work, I come to learn that my microphone was muted.
Oh no.
So we never and on top of that, my desktop audio was muted too.
Oh no. So they couldn't even hear the lid.
Yeah, so that was a bust.
I was really liking the Mystic, the 2-drop.
Okay, which one does it do again? Just off the top of your head.
It is a 2-drop. You pay 1 and you can stun a unit this turn. So you have to sacrifice it and pay 1. But
Yeah,
it's still a nice 2-drop unit, so it still can break air towers at least.
Penguardian Mystic. So this is the card we're talking about. I have it up in the search bar here. I have it enlarged on the search bar. So for 2 costs, it's 1,000 power. I didn't feel like it was very good for 1,000 power. I feel like it's going to not destroy the towers I needed to destroy when I need to do it. I felt like the sacrificing it to stun wasn't really very good. I feel like there was better ways to be able to manage the stun abilities.
That makes sense.
And I also felt like paying to sacrifice it in addition to that was just more salt on the wound. It's a great opportunity. Like if your opponent tries to disrupt your board state, then you can sacrifice it in response because you're going to lose it anyways. That's absolutely true. And there are circumstances where this card will be good, but I feel like the circumstances are less versatile. And when you have units on the board that aren't stunned or locked down, you're going to want to utilize them to the best of their abilities.
That makes sense. I like it though. I like the deck list.
Thanks.
I'm excited to play against it.
Yeah, excellent. You said you had your penguin list?
I do. I don't have it on here, but I actually do have a deck list on here that I can play.
Okay. Come over to the shard board here again. You can see which I'm playing 2 different towers.
Ooh, let's see if I can get this on here.
Well, you got a lot of it all over the place. You might want to just delete it and move it over a little bit better.
Yeah, it's looks like.
You want to just reload it? Delete what's
Yeah, I'll
there.
just reload it.
I'll go grab my deck. Actually, I'm going to take a print screen of that. See if I can't save that somewhere. That's wicked cool. I like that. I'll deal with that image later.
See if I can rotate this.
So I've got me a 45 card deck. Oh, what's this pile? 43 cards? Is that your deck?
Yeah, I'm swapping everything around.
Okay, I'm going to delete this copy because it looks like you have your own copy over here.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
this is your pile. That's on your side.
Here's your towers. Gotta delete those. Okay, delete those. This is your deck here. I'm gonna delete that. Right, that's your deck. Yeah. You already have a copy of your deck here. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that now. Now, also, you overloaded. You like double loaded everything on me here.
That's so weird. I'm sorry about
Okay, that goes there. These will go grouped.
that. As you can see, I don't play tabletop sim very often.
Okay, I'm gonna flip this. Search. Delete.
Need to find my cheat sheet.
Okay, 1, 2, that's 10 there. Okay, I got 45 in my deck, 5 towers, 10 shards. I think I'm good to go here. So I'm going to randomize my deck, randomize my shards, randomize my towers, distribute my towers. Did I show you my towers?
You did.
And you have the 5 basics, right?
Yeah, basically.
Got 5. So you can also select them and hit R and randomize them. So I got 9.
Nice. Huge.
I'll take the play. I'll draw my 5. Let's resolve mulligans. And I don't mind talking over my hand to the stream just so that they can see what I'm keeping and why I'm keeping it. Because this is all for fun and playtesting and stuff. And I know that knowledge can affect things, but I'm
Oh,
not
good.
I'm not too worried about it. So here I have a 1 cost, a 2 cost, 3 cost, and a couple spells. So I have things I can play. It's a nice curve. This card I'm not going to use until a little bit later. I want to keep it in my hand though because it is very useful. And he's playing some kind of mono red deck over here. So he's probably going to be very aggressive. So this probably is going to be turned on pretty quickly as well here. So, all right, I'll keep what I have for the things. So he's bottoming 2, and he's gonna draw 2 more to fill out his hand of 5. So my opponent Thomas is playing Rena Ursatovus. Rena Ursatovus. That's hard to say.
The bear.
All right, Rena says, if you declared an attack with a fire unit this turn, put the top card of your deck under this card. So it's not. It's just declared an attack. It's not even attacked. It's like I'm moving to combat and I choose unit. So,
Yeah, no decision allowed.
and if it was a fire unit, you may deal 1,000 damage to target unit your opponent controls. That seems really good. So put 2 cards from under this card on top of your library, or sorry, on top of your deck in any order. Put a dinosaur unit from your hand or discard zone with cost to equal to or less than the number of shards you control into play. This thing lets you cheat dinosaurs into play? Dude. Alright, well, I mean, let's see how it goes. I feel like I'm going to get beaten up.
Well, good luck.
Good luck. Alright, I got me a shard. I'm going to end turn.
I'm going to draw. Charge. an exhaust and play Bone Scav.
Sounds good.
I will enter my turn.
As you end your turn, I will play a pupil.
Good.
Draw for turn. Untap. Move to combat.
That's good.
Towers.
Sure.
All right. So I played out the Pengushi Kyoto. While my opponent controls a stun unit, this card gets plus 1,000. And whenever this card declares an attack, I may destroy a stunned unit.
Looks good to me.
Yep. And turn back to you.
Draw. Enter target.
So the Bone Scavenger is not a fire unit, so I wasn't really too concerned about the runner ability yet. Of course, you might play something that can attack, but Bone Scavenger is not the one that's going to do it.
I am going to enter combat.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will attack your towers.
Proceed.
Actually, I'll attack your pink one, your exhausted pink one.
Okay.
And I will activate Ursa Ability and give it plus 1,000.
Yep. So he's exhausting his spirit and paying 2 to give target unit plus 1,000 until end of turn. So he's going to kill my poor little penguin friend.
Cries in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I will pass.
Okay. I will draw. Arrive trigger. I will leave them in that order. Put them back on top. I will stun target unit. I use these nice water dice with the symbol on them with the stun. Um, trigger my Hanzo. My Hanzo says whenever you stun or whenever a unit your opponent controls becomes stunned, I may look at the top card of my deck. I may put the top card of my deck under this card. If it was a penguin unit, I may draw a card. So if they get flipped, it was a penguin unit. So I will draw one card. This will go underneath my Hanzo, which I'm just going to put it off to the side a little bit there, like that. Now I'm going to move to combat. And while my opponent controls a stunned unit, this card gets plus 1,000. And whenever this card declares an attack, you may destroy target stunned unit. So I'm going to declare attack.
Attacking is good.
What's that?
I said your declaration of attack is good.
Okay, targeting the scavenger. Scavenger dies. We go combat towers. Pop the center. What do we got? Air. Excellent.
We will pop it back to your hand.
Yep. So the air tower bounces 2 units back to their owner's hands. He set this one back to mine, which is not the worst. At least I still have the resource. And I will end turn.
Okay, I will draw. Enter charge phase. I will pay 1.
What you got?
I will play a hatchling.
Mezosian Hatchling. A 500 power dinosaur that says other dinosaur units you control get plus 500. Very nice.
I will pay 2. And I will play Hoken Archaeologist.
Hoken Archaeologist. Okay, this is a 1000 power Argent for 2. Augments you control cannot be targeted by spells or abilities. And arrive, you may search your deck for a non-location augment and add it to your hand. And if you do, put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Okay, so are you going to search?
Yes, I'm activating the search ability.
Okay, so he will use the search, which means that he's going to replace a card from his hand with a card in his deck. Oh, Hoken. So he searched up Hoken Warding Amulet. Neither player can target cards in discard zones. Neither player can activate the ability of cards in discard zones. And you can only control one Hoken Warding Amulet at a time. He's putting that in his hand.
And I will put this one on top. And I will pass turn.
Sounds good. I will draw for turn. I will untap these. Cryptic Crystal, trigger. So this is what I got here. I will keep it in this order. Put it back on top of my deck. And I have a couple of options here. I'm just cycling through what I want to do. I think I want to try to be aggressive in this moment. 2 to play. 1 to animate. Move to combat.
Combat good.
Attack towers.
Attacking on towers is good.
Let's try that one. What do we get? Tower
light
of
tower.
Light. I got the tokens here. So I destroyed his Tower of Light, which gives him this nice little knight token, which is unfortunate for me, but fortunate for him.
Very.
And I only have 1 shard up at the moment, so I'm not in as good a position as I want to be in to deal with that knight token. But that's the gamble of attacking, right? So I destroyed a tower. I may draw a card and discard a card. Do I want to? Yes, I do. I will draw one and discard one. And I will pass a turn.
I will draw.
So that's an ability on Tux that's very easy to overlook, and I overlooked it on the first tower I destroyed this game.
And I will enter charge phase.
When you're playing Hanzo and Tux, there's a lot of text to remember.
I will start off by entering combat.
Yep. Declaration is good.
I will go to towers.
Okay. So declaration target trigger.
I don't have to activate run it yet. I can just activate it during the turn I attack with the fire unit.
Oh, okay. Roger that. Okay, towers, proceed. Now, he's going to do 500 damage to my water tower. My water tower has 1,000 toughness left before it is destroyed.
Okay, and now I will activate run ability.
Okay, so exhaust, if you do... Oh, sorry, exhaust. Put the top card of your deck under this card. If it's a fire unit, you can deal 1,000 damage. Go ahead. It is a fire unit. Look at that.
So
Declaration.
I will deal 1,000 to your Shardwood Dragon.
Yep. My Shard Work Dragon has 1,000 damage on it.
Then I'm going to pay 3. Not flip. Pay 3. For Destroyosaurus. And when he comes into play on his arrive ability, I can choose to destroy a unit with damage on it. And if I do, I gain quickness this turn.
Very, very, very nice. For him, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm a hurting unit now.
So I will now enter combat.
Yep.
I will attack on towers.
Yep, no response.
We'll go ahead and kill the water tower.
All right. Boop, boop. And I will draw 2 cards. See what I got. All right, proceed.
I will enter combat.
Yep.
Towers.
Combat is good.
25 here.
So we will flip it. It is a Tower of Embers, which gets destroyed. And I can do either 1,500 to 1 unit and then 1,000 to another unit, or I can do 2,500 to 1 unit. So what do I want to do? I could destroy the Night Token, right? And that would prevent another attack on his end if he so chose to go that route. I could also kill the Mezosian Hatchling and the Hoken Archaeologist at the same time and leave him with 2 powerful units instead. It is truly a toss-up. There are several things I could do in this situation, and both seem like a viable path to take. Or I could just destroy the Destroyosaurus. I will... I kind of almost want to just destroy that Night Token. I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll destroy that Night Token. 2,500.
Sounds good. I will pay my remaining shard.
Yep.
And I will play Bonescaff.
Okay. And eats my dude. Bloop. Well,
Yep.
there's do you want another dude in there, or?
I want the dragon. Yeah, the dragon's fine.
Yep. Okay.
Now I will sack for an additional cost to play Underlord of the Void Flame.
As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice a fire unit with cost 2 or more. If you do, this card costs 2 less to cast. So he sacrificed the Destroyosaurus in order to play this for free. If you pay the additional quickness cost, he gets quickness. Okay, so here's got another 1,500 power unit that can attack this turn.
So I will enter combat.
Yep.
And I will attack towers.
Proceed. This is truly very... So he destroys my light tower, and I get a token myself. I got one. He destroyed 3 of my towers on turn 4. Just by having 2 quickness units that he could attack with and play and do different things.
And on that, I will pass.
That's a pretty good turn right there, honestly. That's a very explosive attack phase.
I didn't hit the air tower, which I was happy about. So
yeah. Okay, so I drew this guy. I have this. I could just start chopping away at some stuff. Or I have a couple other. I think I have. Let's turn that up. Grab one of these, flip it over. It is a Zephyr Crystal, so it comes into play tapped because I have a water spirit, not an air spirit. So that leaves me on 4 shards. That's not particularly great. I have 2 towers left. He has an almost loaded up board state, which is also pretty scary. I see. I will go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have to discard 2 cards. I will move to end turn.
Sounds good.
And I have to discard 2 cards. I will discard the Pengushi Damio Kenshin and the Pengushi Kyoto.
2 really good cards.
They are 2 really good cards, but they are too slow right now. I need to get through this combat.
Okay, I will enter my draw phase.
Yep.
Enter charge.
Yep.
I will attempt to enter combat.
I will respond with Shards of Winter.
Looks good.
So Shards of Winter exhausted his entire board. And he has 1 space open that he can play units in. So he still could attack this turn, and he obviously has ability to be able to attack with other things like that Underworld of the Void Flame that he attacked me with last turn. He could sacrifice this copy of Underworld to another copy in his hand and get another combat in.
I will go ahead and pay 2.
And do just that.
I'm actually going to play my my warding amulet.
Okay. So he made it now so that neither one of us can target or activate things from our graveyards, which doesn't hurt either one of us at the moment.
And I will pass turn.
Sounds good. Well, actually, it hurts him more than it hurts me because he's locked down his own utility with his Bone Scavenger. All right. So,
just a small price to pay.
Yeah. I will draw 1 card. I will untap my shards. Bloop. I will get another shard. Flip it. What the hell? Did I pull that off my deck?
I think you did.
I must have pulled it off my deck. You guys got to pay attention because that would have been a game loss for me in a tournament. Like, if they're being strict about how they manage the online stuff. I will move to combat.
Entering combat's good.
Attack towers.
When you attack, I will exhaust 2 and play Void Fire Expulsion.
Expel target. So play only while you control a fire unit. Neither player can add to the queue in response to this card. So, okay, I can't respond to him playing this card, which is incredible. Expel target unit or augment, and if you do, its owner draws a card.
So you will get the draw, but I won't get attacked this turn.
Yeah, so he expels the Knight token. And I draw a card. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. Oh boy. Move to end turn.
Sounds good.
Discard for turn.
Amulet was really good this turn.
What's that?
I said the amulet was really good to play this turn now since you had Lloyd in hand.
Yeah. So Lloyd got turned off, and if I have any Phantasmal Storms in the graveyard, those would be turned off because I wouldn't be able to activate that ability, the shard drain ability. So it does have effect against blue, surprisingly.
I will enter draw phase.
Yeah.
And I will enter charge.
Yeah.
I will attempt to enter combat.
Okay, I will respond.
Mm-hmm.
Chronostasis.
That's a thing.
So if you don't mind, I'll put your orders.
Sure.
Remember, this is on the top, so I want this on the bottom.
I will pay 2.
Yep.
And I will play Boostosaurus. When he comes into play,
Yep.
I can get a fire unit plus 1,000 this turn, so he will become a 2K.
Yep.
I will then sack him.
Nice.
For Underlord again.
Yep.
I will enter combat.
Sure thing.
Hack on tower.
Yep. So Tower of Darkness, whatever I guess your last card is, I'll rip that. That was a good time to hit that that Tower of Darkness.
Very
I
nice.
Guess. So you can only have one Hoken Warding Amulet on your board at a time. So he already has one, and my Tower of Darkness pretty much just took that away. But the news is he's got one unit on board, no cards in hand, and I've got a full grip. So can I stabilize is the question.
I will activate run effect.
Yep, so if you attack, you can tuck another unit or another thing. Yep, so you get another fire unit and you can do 1,000 damage.
So I will opt out to do fire. To do the
Sounds good.
Actually, no. I'll do 1,000 damage to Underlord.
Okay.
And I'm going to activate run a second ability.
Oh.
To put both these units.
And you're gonna go get a Destroyosaurus. From your graveyard, right?
Yep. So I will activate her effect.
Can you hold on? Timeout. Okay, so it's not targeting your unit in your graveyard. It says put a unit.
Yep. So it gets around the amulet.
How nasty is that? Then he's going to use his Destroyosaurus, which I called correctly.
Yes, you did. And I will destroy.
To destroy Asaurus, the other dude, to get another combat in and leave me with 0 towers.
So I will enter combat.
Yep.
Let's hit that air tower.
I will actually.
Oh, it's not the original. No.
So he destroys my air tower, which allows me to untap all of my shards, which means I can play things at instacast speed now before the end of his turn if I want.
I will pass my turn.
Excellent. So he is a 2,000 power dude. I will Phantasmal Storm him.
Yep, the first one's good.
I will tap cards in my hand, apparently. Put in this little dude. 2,000 power of my own. Oh, so I need 2 more.
Yes, he is a 4.
Yep. There you go. And that'll be that. That's good for the end of your turn. Gonna move.
Actually,
So he's
that deals 2,000 power, right?
Yes. So he should be gone.
I will actually. I for some reason I was thinking he was a 25. If I can, I will actually respond to that with Ursatova. And tapping, giving him plus 1,000. Because apparently I'm bad at math. So before your Jonin comes out, you can respond to
yeah.
plus 1,000.
I'm trying to see if I have something I want to do differently. No, that's fine.
Okay, and then your Jonin comes out.
Yep, play Jonin. And then I'll start my turn. Draw 1 card for me. And I will untap. Get an additional shard. Nice.
Good shard to have.
Yeah, maybe. We shall see. I will play out one of these guys. So to stun him.
When you cast,
Yep.
I'm going to Corona Shard. Oop, not that.
What are you Corona Sharding?
I'm going to Corona Shard my own Destroy Source.
Yep, so you want me to stun my own guy.
That is correct.
So, Snowtop Elemental says stun target unit. This is not a May ability. This is a must ability. That means that if he's the only unit on the board, he stuns himself. Now, I have another unit on the board. And thankfully... So that's pretty cool. So he's going to stun himself, right? And I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to... Let's see how this reads.
So it is a May ability, so you can draw off of it if you like.
Whenever a unit becomes stunned, you may draw a card. So that includes your own. So I will draw a card from stunning my Snowtop with himself. And I will still move to combat.
Sounds good. Cowards are good. Which one do you
And
want?
I will stun him. And when he becomes stunned, I'll draw a card.
Now you cannot stun a stun unit again.
You can't?
No.
Why not?
I think it's in the comprehensive rules. So once a unit is stunned, to be able to stun it again, it would have to have stun removed. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, if you don't mind, because it would be good information to have. And I'll check the chat log.
Yeah, in section, let's see, 11, part 15, part 3, states a card that is already stunned cannot be stunned again.
Okay. So then I just combat then.
That's fine.
Let's see. 2 towers destroyed. Let's pop this last corner one here. 2,000 power. Tower of Water. Draw 2 cards. So you have Darkness and Fire left. That is good to know. and 2 cards in hand. Okay, I will put another unit into play.
Looks good.
The Pangushi Kyoto. He's while your opponent controls a stun unit, this card gets plus 1,000, and whenever this card declares an attack, you may destroy target stunned unit. And I will pass turn.
Oh, that looks like it never passed.
What's that?
It still looks like it didn't pass back.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I noticed, and I was like, okay, it doesn't matter too much. That's more really kind of for the game log than anything else.
Enter charge phase.
Charge.
I will pay 1 for a hatchling.
Yep.
I will pay 2 for a Bambino.
Bambino. You may destroy target unit when ruined. Very nice. Oh man, that's really good with that fire guy.
Yes.
The void fire guy.
I will pass turn.
Okay. And I response. Let's see what I got going on. In response, I will Soul Burst and stun your board. Do you know your responses to that?
Nothing to it.
Okay. Control copy, stun, trigger, 2 Hanzo triggers, and then 2 Jonin triggers.
So how would you like to trigger these?
So it's all going to be random. I don't know what's on the top of my deck. Whenever a unit becomes stunned, you may draw a card, and whenever a unit becomes stunned, you may put the top card of your deck under this card, and then if it was a penguin, you may draw a card. So I'll just start with my 2 Hanzo triggers. Gonna flip that. That is not a penguin. And I'll flip that. That is also not a penguin.
Those have been really good to draw.
Oh yeah. Come on, get off of him. There we go. Put him back on top. Then I will activate my 2 Jonin triggers. Draw 2 cards. Very nice. Okay, and so that's at the end of your turn. And I'm coming around to my turn. Ready?
Sounds good.
Oh, sorry, he's still tapped until I draw for turn. Then untap. Oops. Doop doop doop. Then charge. Cryptic Crystal, activate. Alright, I like that. I'll keep that like that. I will move to combat.
Sounds good.
I will declare attack, declaring destroy target stunned unit. And I am attacking towers. And when you say pass through the damage, I will activate my Hanzo.
Sounds good.
And I'll put those back in any order I want to nullify the effects of this tower that I'm attacking.
You said the face down tower?
Yep. So I destroyed his tower of fire without taking any damage from it, or without repercussion from it. And I will tap play visitor to flip him. Responses to that arrive trigger.
Yep, it's all good.
Okay. And I will move to combat again.
Moving to combat's good.
I will attack Darkness Tower. Oops.
Darkness is good.
Reveal.
See that beautiful hand.
Reveal hand.
At this point, ASB can just go back, or can be discarded.
Yep.
But then you attack for game.
Yeah. So do you have response to game attack?
Nope. Everything's good.
All right, move to combat for lethal, and goes through. Good game.
Ah, it's Bambino.
So, my answer to my question that I had was, can this deck survive aggro? I mean, I don't know how it gets too much more aggro than what you had going on.
Yeah, you having the Chronostasis and the back to back between the 4-drop and then the Chronostasis on top of it really helped you.
Yeah.
Very nice game.
Very good game indeed. Yeah, there was just so much going on. Man, I loved seeing all those red units come crashing in like that. That was incredible.
Yeah, I have a different version that I'm playing on Untap than I do on Tabletop. But this is just my pure aggro deck. So
Yeah. What did you do to my deck?
I threw it.
That's rude.
Oh no, it won't let me flip the table because I'm not the leader.
Well, good, because I didn't want to flip the table. Are we playing again?
Yeah, we can play again. Let me see what other things I can do.
Okay, I think I got my deck back in order again here.
Oh, spawn my stuff on you again. What the heck?
Dude.
It's because I'm normally on your side and it saves that section. That's. Hold on a second.
Well, so try, when you go to your objects, drag the item out, and it'll give you a highlight of where it's going to land, and highlight it in your square.
Oh, I didn't do it. Actually, give me a few minutes, Lee. I have some stuff I gotta take care of.
Okay.
But I shall be back.
So I think the easiest way for me to do this myself is to just get rid of all of these and then just reload my own. Search this. Get rid of that totem. Overwrite the file. Saved objects, just to be penguins, only one version. There we go. Okay. I actually think that's pretty good for me for tonight as well. So I'll see if Thomas wants to call it an evening. I have a few other things I can work on, including cracking some packs later on, maybe into the night. We'll see how that goes. I want to start getting ready for getting everything together for this coming week. Now that Echoes of Hoken is finally released, there's people wanting stuff. So I thank you all very much for stopping in. This is a pretty good spot to end the stream, I think. And I will see you all again very soon. Thank you.